What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami from the Toku and Animation News Network here at Fan Expo Denver 2025, and I am in conversation with...
Hi, I'm Blake McCarthy. I'm the writer of Terri Tory.
Remember to click like, subscribe, the bell notification, and whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us. Welcome to Fan Expo Denver. Is this your first time here?
It is, yeah.
Is this your first time in Denver at all?
No, so I live in Loveland. I'm from Colorado,
okay.
But I've been to this con as a fan, but this is the first time being on this side of it.
So what's the experience like being on the other side compared to when you were just a fan?
It's definitely, it's pretty crazy. It's really cool. You know, before it was fun just like getting to look around, see everybody's ideas and artwork and all the cool stuff. And this time getting to kind of explain, you know, my story and what I've been working on and seeing people get excited about it and, you know, kind of seeing the fans get excited about this work being on that side. It's been really, really cool.
Have you been having a good time then?
Yeah, it's been great. I've had a great time. Definitely met a lot of cool people. You know, it's been cool talking and talking to Kaiju fans, talking to people who are interested in this kind of stuff.
So for people who don't know what you do, what do you do?
So I'm a writer. So this is Terri Tory's my first comic series. So it's 5 issues. Actually, just finished it. So the whole series is finished. Self-published it all through Kickstarter. And so yeah, so this is really the first sort of creative project I've done, but it's been great. I got to work with a lot of really cool people on the team, worked with some great artists, and now it's cool, you know, getting it into people's hands and seeing how people enjoy it.
So what made you want to start doing comic books? Was it, did anything push you into that?
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up with comics. I used to go, like, one of my favorite things as a kid was going to a comic book store with my dad. Me, my dad, and my brother would go. You know, I was a big Marvel fan back then. That was like the, you know, Spider-Man, all that stuff. And then, so kind of got into comics as a kid, and then I actually kind of had like a break from it for a while, just kind of like fell out of it. But I actually have 2 kids of my own, and so when they started getting back into like the superheroes, kind of getting into comic books, that got me back into it. And this was a story I'd had kind of in my head in various forms for a little bit. And when I kind of got back into comics, I was like, comics is a perfect way to tell this story. So it was cool then. It's kind of like a light bulb moment of, you know, I had the story and now I had the way to tell it, and so got to make it happen.
And what were you doing before you got into comic books?
So I wasn't, like I said, I didn't really have any, I don't have any like sort of creative background or anything like that. You know, so just working, being a dad, you know, just kind of doing that, and that was what was really cool as far as like getting back into comics. I actually, when I went to college, I went for advertising, did some copywriting, thought maybe I wanted to do like maybe some screenplays or something like that, but then just kind of had like sort of a creative like dry spell, so it was cool to get reinvigorated.
So tell us about this series.
Yeah, so the series is Terri Tory. So it's a post-apocalyptic kaiju comic where people worship the kaiju as gods. Basically the story is that long after some sort of man-made disaster, the remaining people all live in tribes, and then each tribe worships a different kaiju as their god. So here's the Great Horn, which is the kaiju that the main character worships. And so basically each tribe worships these different kaiju. So then when the kaiju battle, that brings the tribes into conflict with each other. Kind of makes it, you know, as they realize there's these other kaiju, these other tribes out there, kind of challenges their beliefs, challenges, you know, their faith, and makes them sort of reevaluate what's going on. And then you get the epic kaiju battles, and you have this sort of human, you know, kind of crisis of faith going on underneath it.
So what, I guess Godzilla was the inspiration for this.
Yes.
What's your favorite Godzilla movie?
My favorite one is probably Biollante. Yeah, I grew up, the Heisei era was a lot of the ones I watched as a kid. So that was my favorite one of those. But now it's cool because again, I actually got like the big Criterion, you know, of all the original
The Showa era?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's actually been really fun, like rewatching a lot of those with my kids. So I've been going through a lot of those and Destroy All Monsters, you know, just got all the Kaiju.
Have you picked up the Biollante 4K that Criterion released a few months ago?
I have not, but that is like on my list. It's sort of my next thing. Yeah.
Did you know that that movie was actually shot in like 2 weeks?
I did not know that. That's crazy because I feel like it's one of the more like, there's a lot of cool details in that, so that's really cool.
Yeah, especially the puppetry for Biollante.
Yes.
When you look at like the behind the scenes footage of how many wires there are and the fact that you don't actually see those on screen is just amazing.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. And I think one of the things that I really like about that movie, so another sort of, one of my other big passions is like conservation and sort of ecological themes. That's a big theme in sort of this series too, with the man-made disaster. And the Kaiju in this, they're called the Himis, and they're sort of reclaiming nature from kind of this disaster that humanity created. And that was one of the things that always appealed to me about Biollante, was sort of that ecological aspect of it that was always there.
Are you planning to have this now collected into a paperback form now that it's complete?
Yeah, so each issue had its own campaign on Kickstarter, and so I am looking at doing, hopefully sometime this fall, I'll be putting out a trade with the collected edition.
And what are your plans now that this series is done? Are you going to start a new one, a brand new series?
Yeah, so actually I'm going to do a new series unrelated to Terri Tory. You know, this was definitely one, it being my first series, I had a definitive endpoint in mind. I had like a complete story I wanted to tell. You know, I didn't want to do like this ongoing thing where I wasn't sure how I wanted to end it or anything like that. And I got to tell the story, we got to end it the way we wanted to, which was great. So now I have an idea for a new series that starting to work on. You know, Terri Tory, this has been about 5 years working on this, and so it's kind of crazy now with it coming to an end. I'm kind of like, you know, well now what do I do? So starting over working on a new series, but it's really exciting because I learned a lot just the process of making this, you know, working with other people, seeing how comics get made and seeing it come to life. So trying to take that experience, take all the things I learned and you know, apply that for my next one. Hopefully just keep improving on the work.
Do you have a design for your different kaijus that you are most proud about?
Yeah, I'd say again probably the Great Horn was sort of the original one. It's kind of, so the concept behind all the kaijus is that the man-made disaster was some sort of like nuclear type of event, and so all the kaijus in this are based off of nature, you know, so real creatures, as some sort of like, you know, they kind of mutated due to whatever caused sort of this massive event, and so they're all, you know, they're all kind of like these natural mutation, monstrous, not so much some of the like Sentai space-based stuff. And so the Great Horn just really captured, I thought, that like, you know, it feels very primal, feels very like force of nature, like which was the goal. So.
And where can people find these books at?
So unfortunately I don't have an online store yet. That is something I'm working on. So Kickstarter, like I said, has been the place, and when I do the trade campaign, I will have some of the single issues available as well. So that'd probably be the best place right now, but on my socials, I'm working on getting a website, a web store for them, and then once I do get that all set up, I'll post that on my socials and get that to people who are interested.
But are these regularly available on Kickstarter then right now, or was it only during the campaign period?
So it was only during the campaign period, but with Kickstarter actually taking late pledges now, so I'm going to have that as kind of like a pseudo storefront once I get the next one going, and then hopefully that'll kind of give me time to build up the website too, so I'll just have a lead place where people can go.
Nice. Any final words for our viewers?
No, I appreciate it. It's been, you know, this has been a really fun experience. It's always cool, you know, when I figured out that I wanted to make a comic, I knew that you know, I wanted to do something kaiju based, being a Godzilla fan, and so I really appreciate all the kaiju fans. I've gotten a lot of support from the kaiju community for Terri Tory, so really appreciate all the kaiju fans out there who have supported it. It's been so cool to be a part of that community and you know, see all the exciting stuff going on. So thank you everyone, and yeah, you know, if you get a chance to check out the book, I hope you enjoy it.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Until next time, bye.